Understand Zamani was only the first. First what? Name on the list.
I was meeting with, he's now become a friend, John Fox, who is somebody I knew from feature meetings. And we were talking about the idea of what if there was a sort of Whitey Bulger of crime, somebody who is a criminal but has lots of experience. Somehow I seized on the idea of a list of criminals.
What list? Let's call it the blacklist. That sounds exciting.
I was working at Sony at the time and they put us together, and so John and I then talked about the pilot story, and John did an amazing job writing the pilot.
Good afternoon. I'm here to see Assistant Director Harold Cooper.
Do you have an appointment?
I do not.
The next few steps worked out. Joe Carnahan was available and interested.
I think that John Bokenkamp did such a brilliant job of keeping the reader on their toes, and I think oftentimes we kind of dismiss the art of screenwriting and until you see it done so kind of effectively the way John was able to write that pilot episode. And I think just that scene where he surrenders as well at the beginning, I remember reading it, I knew exactly how I would shoot it. The idea of the monolithic FBI and this kind of shadowy figure in the foreground with the brimmed hat on. And I remember even Yasutini and I saying, you know, we did this kind of shot where we boomed down off the gray man and we just framed Red's glasses.
Must be good to be home again, sir.
We deliberately lowered an American flag to kind of half-mast in the background so it would be back there.
Yeah.
I just thought, well, that's the show.
Oh, we'll see about that.
And his first line, when he's asked, well, it's good to be home, sir, he said, well, we'll see, you know, which I just thought that's the whole, you know, that kind of encapsulates the script itself. We'll see.
He brought very specific talents, very cinematic, to the pilot that helped elevate the material in a way that you don't always get in the pilot.
I also had the assistance of some really talented people. I mentioned Yasser Tanita, the DP, but Ben Bray, who's the second unit and stunt coordinator, is such an ingenious guy. And you know, you got guys working at the top of their game. So all you have to do in that instance, I think, as a director, is be able to focus the energy properly, and that's what we're able to do. And so, you know, like that bridge sequence, I think that's a standout sequence in the pilot. In constructing that scene, and Jason Hellman, who edited that sequence, we really reduced it down to just its kind of like blunt force trauma.
Do you want to call your daddy?
Yeah, I want to tell him.
The initial setup, we're turning around and that abbreviation obviously also works for television because it is such a shorter, you know, it's a much shorter format. But I thought that that was a really effective kind of muscular way to bash us into the sequence, and also to do something that, you know, a kind of sequence that you don't often see on television, you know, just something that really felt like, whoa. The sequence itself, as it was written, was a much more elaborate, they actually, you know, it was a drawbridge, and basically they trapped one of the cars in the drawbridge and began to hang it off the side. And there were these guys that rappelled down, or actually up from the water to grab the general's daughter and make their escape that way. And when you looked at it, just from a budgetary standpoint, we realized it's just not tenable to do. That's a big move.